What if the worries that visit you every night are not a sign that something is wrong with you, but a sign that your mind is asking to be understood? As the day ends and the world grows quiet, many people expect peace to arrive naturally. Yet for so many of us, evening becomes the loudest part of the day. Thoughts replay themselves, regrets surface, fears about tomorrow creep in. The body lies down, but the mind refuses to rest. If this sounds familiar, you are not broken. You are human. The Buddha taught that suffering does not disappear when we ignore it. It dissolves when we meet it with awareness, wisdom, and compassion. Evening worry is not an enemy to fight. It is a messenger, quietly asking for clarity and release. Tonight, you will learn 7 powerful Buddhist lessons designed specifically for the moments before sleep. These are not techniques to force your mind into silence. They are gentle reflections that calm the heart, soften the nervous system, and guide the mind toward rest naturally. Each lesson builds upon the next, leading you from restlessness to acceptance, from tension to peace. You don't need to believe anything. You don't need to change who you are. You only need to listen and allow these words to meet you where you are. Let us begin. 1. The day has already ended. You do not need to finish it tonight. The first lesson the Buddha offers us in the evening is simple, yet deeply freeing. The day has already ended. You do not need to complete it tonight. Most evening worry comes from the illusion that we must mentally finish the day before we are allowed to rest. The mind reviews conversations, replays mistakes, and revisits decisions as if thinking harder will somehow rewrite what has already happened. But Buddhism teaches that clinging to the past is like trying to hold water in a closed fist. The tighter you grip, the faster it escapes. When the sun sets, the day is complete, whether you feel ready or not. This is not a statement of defeat, it is a statement of truth. The Buddha emphasized the importance of seeing reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Once the day has passed, no amount of worry can add to it or subtract from it. What remains is only memory, and memory does not need your vigilance to exist. So tonight, allow yourself to say inwardly, "This day is finished. I am allowed to stop." Stopping does not mean you failed. It means you are honoring the natural rhythm of life. Even monks whose lives are devoted to practice do not meditate endlessly into the night. They rest, they sleep, they allow the body and mind to renew themselves. The Buddha often spoke of the middle way, a path between extremes. Evening worry is an extreme of mental effort. It is the belief that if you do not keep thinking, something bad will happen. But wisdom whispers something gentler. Nothing needs to be solved right now. If there were mistakes today, they belong to learning. If there were unfinished tasks, they belong to tomorrow. If there were painful moments, they belong to compassion. None of them belong in your bed. Imagine placing the entire day gently down, as one would place a heavy basket after a long walk. You are not throwing it away, you are simply setting it down. You can pick it up again in the morning if needed, but not now. The Buddha taught that peace arises not from controlling life, but from understanding when to let go. Evening is the time for letting go. So as you prepare for sleep, remind yourself softly, the day has ended. I have done enough for now. Let that truth settle into your body. Let it slow your breathing. Let it carry you toward rest. 2. You are not your thoughts, especially at night. The second lesson is one the Buddha returned to again and again because it frees the mind from unnecessary suffering. You are not your thoughts. At night, thoughts often become louder, darker, and more convincing. The mind speaks with authority, telling stories about the future, judgments about the past, and doubts about your worth. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us that thoughts are not commands. They are events, temporary, conditioned, and passing. The Buddha taught that the mind is like a restless monkey, constantly jumping from branch to branch. In the quiet of the evening, when distractions fall away, we finally notice how active this monkey truly is. But noticing is not the same as obeying. Just because a thought appears does not mean it deserves your attention. Many people believe that peace comes from stopping thoughts altogether, but the Buddha never taught suppression. He taught understanding. Thoughts arise because conditions support them: fatigue, stress, habit, memory. When conditions change, thoughts change too. This means something important. The thoughts troubling you tonight are not permanent truths. They are temporary weather passing through the mind. Instead of arguing with your thoughts, try seeing them as clouds drifting across the sky of awareness. You are the sky, not the cloud. The sky does not panic when clouds appear. It allows them to come and go. When a worrying thought arises tonight, gently say inwardly, "This is a thought, not a fact." This single shift creates space, and in that space, the body begins to relax. The Buddha taught mindfulness not as a way to control experience, but as a way to stop being controlled by it. When you watch a thought without feeding it, it weakens. When you stop identifying with it, it loses its grip. Nighttime thoughts often feel urgent, as if they must be solved immediately. But urgency is a trick of the anxious mind. Very few things truly require attention at midnight. Wisdom knows the difference between what is important and what is simply loud. If a thought returns again and again, you do not need to push it away. Simply notice it. Let it pass. Each time you do this, you are practicing freedom. The Buddha described this practice as unbinding the mind. You are not trying to fix yourself. You are remembering who you are beneath the noise. So tonight, when thoughts arise, as they will, meet them with kindness. Say, "I see you," and then let them drift away. You do not need to chase every thought to find peace. Peace is what remains when you stop chasing. 3. Worry is the mind's attempt to protect you. Thank it, then let it rest. The third Buddhist lesson for easing evening worries is one that changes your relationship with anxiety itself. Worry is not your enemy. It is the mind's misguided attempt to protect you. Most people fight their worries at night. They argue with them, judge them, or try to silence them through distraction. But the Buddha taught that what we resist persists. When we meet inner tension with hostility, we create a second layer of suffering on top of the first. Instead, Buddhism invites us to look more deeply. Every worry arises from a desire for safety, certainty, or control. The mind is trying to anticipate danger so that you won't be hurt. Even the most uncomfortable thoughts are rooted in a wish to protect you from pain. Seen in this light, worry is not a flaw, it is a form of care that has lost its wisdom. When you lie awake at night worrying about tomorrow, your mind is saying, "I want you to be okay." When it replays mistakes from the past, it is saying, "I don't want you to suffer again." This does not mean the worries are helpful, but it does mean they deserve understanding, not punishment. The Buddha taught compassion not only for others, but for every part of ourselves, including the anxious mind. So tonight, instead of fighting worry, try something radical. Acknowledge it. Silently say, "I see that you are trying to help me." This simple recognition can soften the intensity almost immediately. When the mind feels heard, it no longer needs to shout. Then, gently remind yourself of another truth the Buddha emphasized. Protection does not come from constant thinking. Real safety arises from presence, clarity, and rest. A tired mind cannot solve tomorrow's problems. A rested mind can. You can thank your worries for their concern and then let them know they are no longer needed right now. Just as a parent reassures a child at bedtime, you can reassure your own mind. Say inwardly, "Thank you. I am safe enough to rest." This is not denial, it is wisdom. You are not saying that life has no challenges. You are saying that this moment, right now, is not the time to carry them. The Buddha often spoke of skillful and unskillful states of mind. Worry at night is unskillful not because it is bad, but because it drains energy without offering insight. Rest, on the other hand, is deeply skillful. It restores the body, steadies the mind, and prepares you to meet life with balance. Imagine setting your worries down beside your bed like shoes after a long journey. You are not throwing them away. You are simply not wearing them while you sleep. They will still be there in the morning if you need them. Most of them you will find no longer matter. So tonight, meet your worries with kindness. Thank them for trying, and then choose rest. This gentle choice, repeated night after night, trains the mind to trust stillness again. 4. You do not need to control tomorrow to be at peace tonight. The fourth lesson is one the Buddha offered as a direct remedy for fear and restlessness. Peace does not come from controlling the future. It comes from releasing it. Many evening worries are not about today at all. They are about tomorrow. The mind projects itself forward, imagining conversations, outcomes, responsibilities, and possible failures. This habit feels productive, but it quietly steals your peace. The Buddha taught that the future is not something we can possess. It is a field of changing conditions, shaped by countless causes beyond our control. Trying to secure it through worry is like trying to hold the wind in your hands. No matter how much you think tonight, tomorrow will still arrive in its own way. Understanding this is not meant to make you helpless. It is meant to make you free. When the mind realizes that it cannot fully control what is coming, it can finally relax its grip. And in that relaxation, clarity appears. The Buddha called this letting go, not as resignation, but as wisdom. Ask yourself gently this evening, what part of tomorrow am I trying to manage right now? You may notice worries about performance, relationships, finances, or health. These concerns feel urgent at night because the mind is tired and vulnerable, but urgency is not truth. It is a signal that the mind needs rest. The Buddha taught that right effort includes knowing when effort is no longer helpful. Evening is the time for non-doing. The seeds you planted today, through action, intention, and effort, are already in the ground. Worrying does not make them grow faster. In fact, constant mental tension often interferes with wise action. A calm mind sees clearly. A restless mind sees threats everywhere. So tonight, practice releasing tomorrow back to where it belongs, the unknown. Say inwardly, tomorrow will come. I do not need to go there now. This does not mean you are unprepared. It means you trust yourself to meet life as it unfolds. The Buddha emphasized trust in awareness, the understanding that whatever arises, you have the capacity to respond with wisdom. Think of how many tomorrows you have already lived through. Difficult ones, uncertain ones, unexpected ones. And yet, here you are, breathing, listening, still capable of learning and growing. You did not survive because you worried perfectly. You survived because you adapted. Let that truth comfort you tonight. When thoughts of tomorrow arise, acknowledge them kindly, then bring your attention back to this moment. Feel the support beneath your body. Feel the rhythm of your breath. This moment is real. Tomorrow is only an idea. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from mistaking ideas for reality. Peace comes from returning to what is actually here. So, tonight, give yourself permission to not know what will happen next. Not knowing is not failure. It is the natural state of life. Within it, there is vast openness. Rest in that openness. Rest in not needing to control. Rest in the trust that this moment is enough. 5. You are allowed to be incomplete and still at peace. The fifth Buddhist lesson is one many people struggle to accept, especially at night. You are allowed to be incomplete and still be at peace. Evening worry often comes from an unspoken belief that rest must be earned. The mind says, I'll relax once everything is done, or I don't deserve peace because I didn't do enough today. This belief quietly exhausts the heart. The Buddha taught that suffering grows wherever we attach our worth to conditions. Peace is not a reward for productivity. Peace is your natural state when you stop fighting yourself. The Buddha observed that all conditioned things are unfinished by nature. There is always more to do, more to improve, more to understand. If peace depended on completion, no one would ever rest. This is why he emphasized letting go of striving at the right time. At night, striving becomes suffering. Look closely at your evening thoughts. You may notice a subtle pressure to be better, to fix yourself, to improve faster. But the Buddha never taught awakening through self-rejection. He taught awakening through acceptance and clarity. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are in the middle of becoming. Life unfolds gradually, like a path through a forest. You cannot see the entire trail from where you stand, and you do not need to. The Buddha encouraged patience with the process of growth, reminding his students that wisdom ripens in its own time. When you judge yourself at night, you are measuring today against an imagined ideal. That ideal is a thought, not a reality. Real life is imperfect, uneven, and constantly changing. And yet, it is enough. So tonight, practice laying down the burden of self-improvement, not forever, just for now. Say inwardly, I am allowed to rest exactly as I am. This is not giving up. It is recognizing that rest is part of the path, not a detour from it. A mind that never rests becomes rigid. A heart that never rests becomes hard. The Buddha taught compassion as the ground of wisdom. This includes compassion for your own limitations. When you stop demanding more from yourself than this moment can give, the body relaxes, the breath deepens, the nervous system softens. Notice how much of your tension comes from resisting what is already true. You are tired. The day was full. You are human. None of this requires correction. Imagine yourself sitting beside a quiet stream at dusk. You are not trying to change the water's flow. You are simply watching it move. Your life too is flowing, sometimes calmly, sometimes swiftly. You do not need to control it tonight. Let this be enough. Let yourself be unfinished. Let yourself be at peace anyway. This acceptance is not the end of growth. It is the soil in which real growth happens. 6. Compassion soothes the mind more deeply than thinking ever can. The sixth lesson the Buddha offers for easing evening worry is gentle but profoundly transformative. Compassion calms the mind more deeply than thinking ever can. When worries arise at night, the instinct is often to think harder, to analyze, plan, or mentally rehearse. But the Buddha taught that the heart, not the intellect, is the gateway to peace. No amount of thinking can soothe a nervous system that is asking for kindness. Evening worry is often a sign that the heart feels unseen. Compassion begins with recognizing this. Instead of asking, "How do I fix this?" try asking, "What is hurting right now?" This question shifts you from problem solving into presence. The Buddha described compassion as the trembling of the heart in response to suffering. When you notice your own suffering without judgment, something softens. The mind stops bracing itself. The body begins to release. So tonight, offer compassion to yourself as you would to a dear friend. If a friend came to you feeling overwhelmed at the end of the day, you would not criticize them for worrying. You would not tell them to try harder. You would listen. You would reassure them. You would let them rest. You deserve the same kindness. Place your attention gently on the area of your body that feels tense, perhaps the chest, the throat, or the stomach. Breathe into that space, not to change it, but to acknowledge it. Say inwardly, "It's okay to feel this way." These words are not empty. They are deeply aligned with Buddhist wisdom. The Buddha taught that suffering increases when we resist our experience and decreases when we meet it with understanding. Compassion creates safety, and safety is what the mind has been searching for all along. You may notice that when you stop trying to fix your worries, they begin to loosen on their own. This is because compassion interrupts the cycle of fear. It tells the nervous system that it no longer needs to stay alert. The Buddha emphasized loving kindness as a daily practice, not just a moral ideal. When directed inward, loving kindness becomes a powerful medicine for restlessness. You can silently repeat phrases such as, "May I be gentle with myself. May I be at ease. May I rest." Let these words sink beneath the surface of thought. They do not need to be believed to be effective. They only need to be offered sincerely. Compassion does not erase difficulty. It makes difficulty bearable. It reminds you that you are not alone in your experience, even when no one else is present. As the evening deepens, allow compassion to become the atmosphere of your mind. Let it replace urgency with warmth. Let it replace judgment with care. The Buddha taught that a compassionate mind naturally settles. There is nothing to prove, nothing to defend, nothing to solve. Only this moment, only this breath, only a heart allowed to rest. 7. Nothing is missing in this moment. Rest here. The seventh and final Buddhist lesson for easing evening worries brings all the previous teachings together into one simple truth. Nothing is missing in this moment. Much of our worry arises from the feeling that something is lacking, that we are behind, that life should be different, that we have not yet arrived where we are supposed to be. The Buddha taught that this sense of lack is created by the mind's constant comparison between what is and what it thinks should be. But peace begins the moment we stop arguing with reality. Right now, as you listen to these words, you are breathing, your heart is beating, awareness is present. In the Buddhist view, this is not a small thing. It is everything. The present moment, exactly as it is, already contains what you need to rest. The Buddha often pointed his students back to direct experience, not ideas, not stories, but what is actually happening now. When you return to the present, worry loses its foundation. It cannot survive without imagined futures or replayed pasts. Ask yourself gently, in this moment, what is truly wrong? You may notice sensations, tiredness, heaviness, lingering emotion. But these are experiences, not threats. They do not require resistance. When allowed, they move and change on their own. The Buddha taught that suffering comes not from pain, but from the belief that pain should not be here. When you stop fighting the moment, the body relaxes, the breath slows, the mind begins to settle into stillness. This does not mean life is perfect. It means this moment is complete. Even if today was difficult, this moment does not need to carry that difficulty forward. Even if tomorrow feels uncertain, this moment does not need to resolve it. The present does not ask you to be ready for everything. It only asks you to be here. Imagine resting your attention gently on the rhythm of your breath. You are not controlling it. You are simply noticing that it continues on its own. Life knows how to support itself. You are part of that life. The Buddha taught trust in the unfolding of experience, not blind trust, but a quiet confidence that awareness is enough. When you stop searching for something else to fix, improve, or complete, you realize that rest has been available all along. This is why monks are taught to return again and again to simplicity. One breath, one step, one moment. Complexity fuels worry. Simplicity dissolves it. So tonight, let yourself rest in what is already here. You do not need to reach for peace. You do not need to earn it. Peace appears when grasping falls away. Say inwardly, "In this moment, I am safe enough. In this moment, I am allowed to rest. In this moment, nothing is missing." These words are not affirmations meant to convince you of something unreal. They are invitations to notice what is already true beneath the noise. As you prepare for sleep, let the mind settle like a lake at dusk. Thoughts may still ripple the surface, but beneath them is quiet depth. You do not need to chase stillness. You only need to stop disturbing it. The Buddha taught that liberation is not found elsewhere. It is found in the clear seeing of this moment, just as it is. Rest here, breathe here. Let this be enough. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me. If these teachings brought you even a small sense of calm, you're invited to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to Mindfulness for more Buddhist wisdom, guided reflections and peaceful teachings designed to support your daily life and restful sleep. If you found this helpful, gently like the video or leave a comment. Your presence helps this space grow and reach others who may be searching for the same peace. May you sleep deeply tonight. May your mind be at ease, and may you always remember, peace is closer than you think.